Starting with our topic, mechanism of breathing. When we are talking about the mechanism of breathing, it means the inflow, that is inspiration, as well as the outflow, that means expiration of air between the atmosphere and the alveoli of our lungs. See, it is affected by the expansion and contraction of our lungs. Whenever the lungs expand and contract, this process takes place. And there are two processes by which the lungs are expanded and undergoing contraction. The first one is the activity of lungs is in direct contact with the activity of diaphragm. Clear? The downward, that means when it gets flattened, and the upward movement of the diaphragm, it increases and decreases the diameter of thoracic cavity. Alright. So what the diaphragm does, it increases or decreases the thoracic cavity chamber. Thoracic cavity chamber or the diameter. Now second, we are talking about ribs. What the ribs do? The elevation, that means the rise or the depression of the ribs, it lengthens or shortens the thoracic cavity. So these two play an important role in the expansion and contraction of our lungs. Now taking up these processes one by one in the mechanism of breathing. First processes we are talking about, there is an increase, or then secondly there is a decrease. What is that increase or decreases? We are taking it in a process known as inspiration. Inspiration means the process by which the fresh air enters in inhalation. It is inhalation. That means the fresh air enters into the lungs. How? First of all, the role of diaphragm. The diaphragm, it gets flattened. What does it mean? Initially the diaphragm is in its dome shape. It gets flattened, right? And it gets flattened because of the muscle fibers which are there, and it increases the volume of thoracic cavity. So the volume of thoracic cavity increases. Moving to the second point. The second point talks about the intercostal muscles. What are these intercostal muscles? See, we are talking about ribs, right? So ribs के अंदर आती हैं intercostal muscles, and these are lined up in an external position as well as internal position. External intercostal muscles. I'll show you how these are located. Supposingly, this is the sternum. What is sternum? The chest bone. Okay. And this one is the rib. Okay. One rib. This one is the another one rib. These are the two ribs. And this is the vertebral column. So this is the ventral side, that is the dorsal side. This we have to imagine. We have to think like that this is the front side, the chest side, and the chest bone sternum is lying here. And this is the vertebral column. And lips are always laterally originated and are always covering from dorsal side towards the ventral side. So coming in front. And these are the ribs. This is rib 1, or that is rib 2. Okay. And here are the set of muscles. One are towards this side Okay, and these one are known as external intercostal muscles. Fine. And then I am drawing the internal ones simultaneously. These crisscross are the internal ones. They are towards the inner side, the blue ones. Internal intercostal muscles. Now what is happening here is, we say the external intercostal muscles which occur between the ribs. These contract and pull the ribs upward and outward. When these muscles will contract, देखो ये क्या हो जाएगा, contract होगा तो इसका size short होगा, right? तो हम इसको squeeze करेंगे. We are trying to show कि ये ना squeeze हो जाएगा ये वाला muscle. And when it is contracting, it is going to move the ribs upward and outward. So the ribs will lift up outward as well as upward, increasing the volume of thoracic cavity. And these internal intercostal muscles, these will automatically expand. When these are contracting, these ones are expanding so as to allow movement to take place. Thirdly, the intercostal muscles. And now abdominal muscles. Talking about the abdominal muscles, these will relax and allow the compression of abdominal organs. Compression of abdominal organs by the diaphragm. तो अब क्या होगा? These muscles of diaphragm, these muscles of external intercostal area and the abdominal muscles automatically play a passive role, or they help in inhalation process, and these are very important for inhalation. Alright, see, now I am going to draw that how this lung cavity will show the inhalation process. See, more or less we are showing it like this. Here is the vertebral column. Now I am taking this side as the dorsal side. Vertebral column. And this side is the sternum. And here is the diaphragm. What will happen? Diaphragm, it gets lowered. Alright, from its dome shape it will get flattened. Then, because of the intercostal muscles which are here in between the ribs, it will move upward and outward. So this means ribs are raised. Right. What will happen to this chamber? This will expand. Now it is having much more area in the thoracic chamber, and air will enter into the lungs. Air enters. Right. So mainly it is the muscles of diaphragm and the external intercostal muscles that play a major role or a principal role in the process of inhalation. Moving back to how the fresh air moves in. Now the overall volume of the thoracic cavity increases. There is a decrease in air pressure. What will happen? Air pressure which is present here, it will decrease. Clear? And as a result, there is a decrease in air pressure of the lungs, which will create pressure that automatically, the greater pressure outside the body now allow the flow of air from the external nares through the nasal cavity into the lungs area. From alveoli, oxygen passes to the blood capillaries and CO2 exchange will take place. So automatically it is the pressure of air which got created here, which will force the air to move into the lung area or the thoracic chamber. Automatically influx of air, that means the inflow of air will take place and the exchange takes place in the alveoli. Now going to the reverse of it, exhalation. When we are clear with inhalation that it is the inflow of air, exhalation is a process by which the foul air is expelled out from the lungs. So it is exhalation. Means when the foul air, which air? CO2, it has to move out from the lungs. Right. Same way, there are two major muscles, diaphragm. What will it do? It will relax and makes it convex once again. Okay? Increasing that its dome shape, original dome shape. And the volume of the thoracic cavity automatically decreases. अब बेटा यहाँ से वो यहाँ पहुँच जाएगा फिर से. Automatically इतना एरिया फिर से reduce हो गया ना. तो what does it mean? That it moves back to its original place and automatically the volume of the thoracic cavity decreases. Cavity decreases. सीधा एक रोल प्ले किया. Number 2, we are moving to now internal intercostal muscles. याद है? I have drawn with blue. Now the internal intercostal muscles. What will they do now? These muscles contract. पहले कौन contract कर रहा था? The external ones, to move the ribs upward and outward. Here what will happen? These muscles will contract. That time these muscles were relaxing. Now these will contract and pull the ribs. Where? Downward and inward. What will happen to the thoracic cavity chamber? Automatically decreasing the size of thoracic cavity. Fine. This way the size of thoracic cavity decreases. Now again I am going to draw the layout diagram for this, where we can easily explain what is happening to the thoracic chamber and how the chamber will show change. Now here, same way, this is what we have shown flattened that time. What will happen now? Okay, getting my point. This will move inward. When it will move inward, originally dome shaped, this side again the vertebral column, this side again the ribs and the sternum. Intercostal muscles are contracting, allowing the rib to move inward. So this area will automatically shift more towards the inner side. When it will shift towards the inner side, ultimately there is a slight decrease in the volume, and that decrease in the volume will show that the pressure of air here, air pressure will increase as there is a decrease in thoracic cavity. So decrease in the volume of thoracic cavity, so the foul air will move out. Air out. This is what is explained on the basis of mechanism, and that mechanism which only and only believes in the principal muscles, that is diaphragm, as well as the intercostal muscles, which are going to take up the entire process. And here abdominal muscles, what will they do? Abdominal muscles, these will contract. Over there these relax, here contract, and automatically pushes the contents towards the diaphragm. And when the diaphragm will contract, automatically diaphragm will come back to its original dome shape, decreasing the actual area of the thoracic cavity. Now the movement of foul air automatically is depending upon the condition inside. It has to move out from the cavity of the alveoli, because from the alveoli it will move to the bronchioles, then bronchi, then lungs, then larynx, automatically out. Fine. Now, when we are talking about this, what is the role played by our inspiratory muscles and expiratory muscles? The role played by inspiratory and expiratory muscles is, that is the role of the diaphragm and as well as the role of the intercostal muscles. Always remember, if a question is not direct one that discuss the mechanism of breathing, they may ask you that discuss the role played by inspiratory muscles and expiratory muscles. It is the diaphragm as well as the intercostal muscles. Clear? Thank you.